What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. All right, everybody, man. Look, I got a video to make in regards to Star Wars, especially Disney Star Wars fans. Because, look, man, we got a lot of different cliques, you know, or different entry points when it comes to Star Wars. You got the cast that came in like myself with the original trilogy, all right? So you got your original trilogy fans, the OT. All right. And then you got the PT, which is the prequel trilogy, a lot of prequelists. All right. You got that little era of Star Wars fans. And then you get these sequelists / Disney Star Wars fans. And in my opinion, the Disney Star Wars fans, as I posted up right here, are the most constantly myopic and consistently wrong fan base when it comes to properly assessing the state and health of the Star Wars franchise. Video coming soon. Yeah, this is that video. All right. Because look, man, these cats just don't live in reality. These cats are not living in reality. I'm talking about the Disney Star Wars fans. They are not dealing with the reality. Whether you like Disney Star Wars and the sequels and all of that stuff, whatever, okay? But at least live in the land of the real, all right? Stop trying to live in some make-believe world where Disney Star Wars is doing great. No, Disney Star Wars is hot garbage and it's bad. And it's absolutely destroyed the franchise, all right? Now, all of this comes from this particular post that I saw from this person, Sawyer Loves Star Wars, all right? I think this is one of these Star Wars shills. He has a pretty significant following, Sawyer Loves Star Wars. All right, so, says here, do not be the guy that has to actually someone about Star Wars. This is the universe of weird green aliens that talk backwards and space wizards with laser swords. It's not that deep. So Sawyer is saying basically that the universe that George Lucas created, it's not that deep. All right. It's not that deep. Nah, don't get too hardcore about your opinions when it comes to Star Wars. It's just green aliens and space wizards with laser swords. Now, is that what George Lucas thought about his own franchise?
It's based on human behavior, human psychology, you know, mythology, which is the sort of archaeology of human behavior and thinking. And since it has those motifs, it is very universal.
Yeah, so where in there did you hear George Lucas say, all right, the maker, the creator, where in there did you hear him say, oh, you know, it's just green aliens that talk backwards and space wizards with laser swords, all right? No, there was plenty of depth to George Lucas and what it is that he was trying to do, all right? Plenty deep. All right, but see, that's the problem, man. A lot of these Disney Star Wars shills, they can't look further than surface level, all right? They're superficial. They can't get deeper. So they don't really see the depth of Star Wars. They don't really see what Star Wars is. And so this is how they can talk so casually about it. Oh, all this is just green aliens that talk backwards and space wizards with laser swords. And that's all there is to it. It's not that deep. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah. So look, I had to come back and actually, the Star Wars franchise was just fine until Disney came along. Now they've ran it into the ground. All right, that's what I had to say. You guys can see there's some quote tweets and some responses to that. We're going to go over it because, look, here's my problem. Disney Star Wars fans, they're just into the spectacle, and they don't understand why the franchise worked to begin with. The franchise didn't just work because there was green aliens that talk backwards or space wizards with laser swords. But these are the idiots that Kathleen Kennedy is trying to adhere to. She's trying to please those people instead of pleasing the OG Star Wars fans. Take care of the OGs, man, and Star Wars will take care of itself. Star Wars was just fine. There was nothing wrong with the franchise. You had plenty of books, all right? You had 6 movies, you know, and I'm going to get into it. I'm going to get deeper to this because it kind of, like, it shows you why the franchise is falling apart because I guarantee you that Disney, the folks over there at Disney think just like Sawyer. Oh, it's just weird green aliens that talk backwards and space wizards with laser swords. It's not that deep. Damn, why is nobody watching? How come the skeleton crew is falling apart? Why is the Acolyte falling apart? How come nobody's watching our garbage? I don't understand. It's not that deep. Oh, but it is that deep. And see, the reason that y'all don't get it and the reason that Disney Star Wars is falling apart is because you haven't connected to what the franchise is about. So here's a guy right here recovering Star Wars. Star Wars was broadly irrelevant pre-Disney. A highly contentious trilogy turned a lot of older fans off. The books were not necessarily easy to approach outside the hardcore fandom, and the only bright spot was a kid's cartoon many of us had to beg people to give a chance to. See, here's the problem. It's that everything ain't for everybody. Everything ain't for everybody. Trying to broaden Star Wars, you've like completely watered it down to where people think, oh, it's just green aliens that talk backwards and space wizards with laser swords. And see, that's the problem, is that you haven't gotten into the core of what Star Wars means and what George Lucas was trying to deliver to people.
It was designed to be a film like mythology of this is what we stand for. You're about to enter the real world. You're 12 years old. You're going to go on into the big world. You're moving away from your parents being the center focus. You're probably scared. You don't know what's going to happen. And here's a little idea of some of the things you should pay attention to. You know, friendships, honesty, and trust, and doing the right thing, living on the light side, avoiding the dark side.
There's mythology to Star Wars. There's lessons to be learned. There's stories. And see, people didn't want to rock with that, especially Disney. Honestly, all Disney had to do was just adapt the EU. They would have been perfectly fine. All right? They would have been perfectly fine. Yeah, there was a lot of books. There was some video games. I mean, again, I was a Star Wars fan pre-Disney. I didn't have a problem with the franchise. Did I want more? Sure, I wanted more. But I wasn't like, oh, this franchise is garbage. Like people are saying right now. Like, look. Let's talk about it for a minute real quick, all right? Here's where Star Wars is at right now. Prior to the Skeleton Crew, this was the series that was out. This was a series that got a lot of attention, and the wrong kind of attention. A lot of people checked all the way out because of this series. Because of this series, look, Eric Kane came back on Forbes. The Acolyte ruined Star Wars Skeleton Crew before it ever had a chance. Skeleton Crew was like, you know what? It's not a bad show. I don't hate it. All right, I don't hate it. It's all right. It's a little kiddie show, but whatever. But yeah, the Acolyte over here with this 19% on Rotten Tomatoes absolutely wrecked any chance that the Skeleton Crew could have had because it was that bad. Oh, there's a bunch of racists and bigots and everything. I ain't no racist. I ain't no bigot. This was hot garbage. This was garbage. And yet people are sitting up here saying, oh, well, you know, Star Wars is in a healthy place. 19% on Rotten Tomatoes. This guy, House Solo, not everything is for everyone, but we got so much Star Wars, I can't even list it all. Clone Wars Season 7, Mandalorian, Skeleton Crew, Andor, The Bad Batch, High Republic novels, sequel trilogy, Rogue One, Solo, and The Acolyte. And so it seems like this guy is just like, well, we got some content. Well, we got some stuff made, live action stuff in the Star Wars universe. Okay, so what? If it's all trash, all right, listen, I give Andor, I say the Andor was good, and parts of Mandalorian is pretty solid, all right? Everything else is subpar. So who cares how much stuff you get? If all of the stuff you're getting is subpar. Rogue One was solid too. I give Rogue One some credit. But you're talking about the Acolyte, Solo, the sequel trilogy, the High Republic novels that nobody buys, all right, that are sitting on the shelf collecting dust, the Bad Batch, again, marginally okay series, but nothing to write home about. Skeleton Crew, nobody watched it. And then Clone Wars said, what are you talking about? Bro, what are you talking about? You act like you sitting out here talking about like some shining lights in the Star Wars universe. This is just ordinary except for Andor, which is quality. But even with this quality, nobody watched it. You know, at least initially nobody watched it. And people eventually caught on. Good show. I'm not going to take anything away from Andor or a few things in The Mandalorian. Everything else is just very questionable, and some of it is just downright dog shit. But this guy is trying to use this as some sort of an argument. Please, man. Please, if this stuff was great, we wouldn't be having this conversation. We wouldn't be having a conversation about the Skeleton Crew was ruined, all right? We wouldn't be having this conversation, bro. Nobody watched this show. Are y'all not aware of this? I think like the Disney Star Wars fans are literally not aware of what's happening. Yeah, Cosmic Book News posted it up. RIP Star Wars, entire season of Skeleton Crew, no shows in the Nielsen ratings. You had an entire season, not one single episode charted anywhere in the Nielsen ratings. Anywhere. And look, even with Andor, right? Like I was looking at this, even with Andor, all right? Den of Geeks posted this up. Andor's viewership numbers would not certainly be anything to cry about for most series. It has remained in the top 10 most watched original streaming shows in the Nielsen ratings through its run. So even Andor, even as bad as the ratings were for Andor, it charted in the top 10 of the Nielsen ratings. Skeleton Crew couldn't do that. That's the most recent thing. I need y'all to understand how bad Star Wars is at right now. Y'all don't seem to get it. Y'all think that, oh, they made a Star Wars series. Oh, they made Skeleton Crew. Oh, they made Mando season, blah, blah, blah. Oh, they made Book of Boba Fett. Or they did this, they did that. They did Ahsoka. They did all of these random series. Oh, Star Wars is in a healthy place. No, it's not. If Star Wars' most recent series is not charting anywhere in the Nielsen ratings, that's a problem. All right? That's a big problem. I don't understand what y'all don't get about that. Y'all remember, we talked about this. I actually did a video talking about how one of these shills was like literally frustrated that Skeleton Crew wasn't showing up anywhere on her timeline. Yeah, this chick was talking about on her social media timeline, you know, when the Acolyte was out, there was a lot of chatter about it, Khmer or this or that, all right? But when the Skeleton Crew airs, I see nothing. No reactions, no theories, no praise. Nothing. Nobody's talking about the show. You know why nobody's talking about the show? Because nobody's watching the show. Like I said, none of this should come as any shock to anybody. Nobody should be surprised that nobody's watching the Skeleton Crew. Like, all of this stuff don't matter, all right? If nobody's watching it, did it make a sound? Like, I don't understand these people, man. They crack me up, man. This stuff is wild. This guy, Eric, hashtag trans rights, of course. The prequels ruined the reputation of Star Wars. Disney saved Star Wars by creating movies and shows better than anything Lucas directed. Wow. Okay. Star Wars fan should be thanking Disney. You know what's funny is, if Disney actually made better content than Lucas's Star Wars, then Disney should be growing its fan base, right? Disney should be growing the fan base and the fans, I mean, people all over the world, because that's what George Lucas did. George Lucas created the franchise, and the franchise blew up immediately, all right? People were rocking with that from day one.
Star Wars. It is more than just a successful movie. It is a box office phenomenon. The film is breaking attendance records all over the country. Not since Jaws have so many people stood in line to see a movie.
These are the 50-odd, emphasis on odd, men and women who've camped outside a Hollywood theater, some for the past 6 days and nights, to be first in line for Jedi.
I am wondering, why are you here?
I know why I'm supposed to be here.
Why?
Because I got nowhere else to go.
This guy sitting up here saying that Disney Star Wars has made anything better than Lucas is fucking horse shit. And I don't believe these people are Star Wars fans. I believe they're all activists. They're all activists, and all they're doing is just spewing nonsense about Star Wars, something they don't know anything about. They're not really Star Wars fans. All right? They're in the culture war. They want to talk about Star Wars because Star Wars is a culturally relevant franchise. But ultimately, they don't really give a fuck about this franchise, and that's why they could say this type of shit. It's not in a healthy place. Yeah, this guy just posts lies, all right? He just says lies, and he does, I guess, screenshots. These are all the, and he does it from his phone, of course. He does it all for prequels, all right? These are all prequel movies, okay? Yeah, lies, yeah, and none of them got down to 19%, and actually 13% as we were covering this. None of those movies got down here, bruh. All right, none of them got this bad. So, yeah, I don't know what the fuck you talking about. Like 59%, 56, 66%. Oh, the Acolyte would be doing backflips for numbers like these. These things were viewed. People love these movies. Who loves the sequel trilogy? Who loves the Skeleton Crew? Who loves the Acolyte? Nobody. You have a handful of Disney Star Wars fans that's still here. Everybody else is checked out. They're gone. They're like, deuces, man. This is garbage. Why am I hanging around? I mean, if the sequel trilogy box office isn't proof positive that people have just absolutely checked out, look at the box office, man. It went from $2 billion to $1 billion in 4 years. In 4 short years, half of the people that went and saw The Force Awakens checked out. Nope, I'm good. And listen, The Force Awakens box office, that is all together to do with George Lucas and what he built. That's why everybody was hyped up to go and see that, because they wanted to see what was happening next with characters that they loved, but before Disney ever touched this franchise. That's what they were coming to see. I want to see what's going on with Han, Luke, and Leia. That's what people were coming to The Force Awakens for. And once they did what they did, you see what happened with The Last Jedi. And then with The Rise of Skywalker, folks didn't even care. That's who's left for Disney Star Wars. You took half of the fan base and you just wiped them out. And listen, the Disney Star Wars fans, they like Mickey Mouse right here. It looks like we're trending in the right direction. Everything's good over here. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I mean, more details right here, all right? Comparing the opening box office, all right? The opening week box office. I mean, let's zoom in on this a little bit. Look at this. All right, this is in millions, all right? This is a column right here. A Star Wars The Force Awakens, 248 million opening weekend. Then it went to The Last Jedi, 220 million opening weekend. Rise of Skywalker, 177. It's the diminishing returns. What is it that these guys don't understand? I don't get it. It's been diminishing returns. Guess what's going to happen when Mando and Grogu drop? All right? You think the Mandalorian and Grogu is going to get anywhere close to any of these numbers? Hell no. Yeah, Sawyer came back. The Star Wars franchise was dying with no trajectory before Disney bought it. This is verifiably true. You don't have to like everything or even like any of the new things, but Disney absolutely revived it. No, they destroyed it. I'm talking about the fan base. I'm talking about people loving this franchise. Look, they've lost fans. They are losing fans by the droves, and they're not replacing those fans with new fans. That's the problem. Your fan base is shrinking. Star Wars right now is becoming irrelevant. At the time that they bought the franchise for $4 billion, it was absolutely relevant. But now, oh no, it's not irrelevant. It's completely irrelevant, I should say. It's no longer relevant. They didn't revive it. I don't know what these people are seeing. Am I like blind to this shit? Like, what are y'all seeing about this that I'm not seeing? Yeah, this was an article from Carolyn Reed on Forbes. Disney Star Wars box office profits failed to cover cost of buying Lucasfilm. They bought the franchise, and since then, they haven't even covered the cost of buying Lucasfilm with the profits they gained from the sequel trilogy. That's how bad this franchise is. And then they just had to stop making movies. They was like, holy crap, 2019, we only made $1 billion off of Rise of Skywalker. We should have been making $3 billion. No. Stop. Time out. Pull a plug, pull it back. We got to do better than this. This ain't going to get it done. This is what, I don't understand if these people aren't aware of this information. They should be. The way they're sitting out here caping for this franchise, they should absolutely be aware of stuff like this. They didn't even cover the cost of buying Lucasfilm with the entire Disney Star Wars box office. All 5 movies. All 5 movies. And I'm sorry, Baby Yoda merch ain't enough to cover the rest. These people are losing money. You saw the Galactic Star Cruiser. The Galactic Star Cruiser was a hot mess, a hot disaster. Like, I'm just befuddled, man. I am absolutely flabbergasted. I'm running out of fucking synonyms and adjectives to describe how I feel about this situation, man. These people are ridiculous. This person said, I hate the sequels too, but this is just not true. LMAO, we had one show and some comics. See, yeah, they're banking everything on content. They're banking, oh, we got more content to watch. So maybe Star Wars is actually in a good place and it's not terrible anymore because we got content. Yeah, but if the content is all bad, and you're losing fans by the droves, and now you can't even chart, all right? You can't chart not one goddamn time on Nielsen? What the fuck are y'all talking about? How is this healthy for the franchise? How is this good for the franchise? You would have been better off not making content. You would have been better off not doing this garbage. And then saying, oh, people still got some hope in Star Wars. People have checked out because they see what Lucasfilm is about. Lucasfilm, they can't make stories. They are terrible at this, all right? They're bad at Star Wars, man. I'm like just beside myself in just disbelief at how like myopic, I said it, and I guess I shouldn't like, kind of bounce back from this, but they are the most constantly myopic and consistently wrong fan base when it comes to properly assessing the state and the health of the Star Wars franchise. They think everything is groovy. Everything is great. It was much better. It was much better. Maybe we could have got some more content, but I would have rather had no content at all than the last 10 to 12 years of this shit. This person says, you hate Disney because you think they made Star Wars too woke. I hate Disney because I think they didn't make it woke enough. Oh, okay. We are not the same. No, we sure the fuck ain't, man. Because I ain't trying to get some woke garbage in my shit. But honestly, wokeness isn't really even the major problem. It's just one of the major issues that Star Wars has. It's just one of the issues. The biggest problem is what I just showed you from George Lucas. These cats don't understand the franchise. All right? These people think it's just green aliens and space wizards with laser swords. And that's it. All right? Going woke is just a symptom of them not understanding Star Wars and not giving a damn about the fans. That's the big problem. All right? On top of the fact that it's woke. I would prefer some people that understood Star Wars and really rocked with the franchise and the original vision of George Lucas to this crap. Woke or not, I would prefer that over this what we got. Some of Star Wars ain't even woke. Like Boba Fett wasn't really woke. It was just garbage. It was just trash. And this guy Jacob says, I feel with all the content we have now. See, here we go again. These people are talking about content. I don't give a fuck about the content if the content is garbage. I don't care how much content we get. If it's all bad, it's not good. I would rather have no content than bad content. It's easy to forget that aside from the Clone Wars and a handful of comics and books, there was next to nothing for Star Wars fans to look forward to. But you know what was funny? Is that Star Wars fans was rocking with it. We would go out and buy books. We would go out and play video games. All right? And we would talk amongst each other, and people still love this franchise. But now that Kathleen Kennedy has got her grubby mitts on it, and Disney doesn't seem to change, they ain't gonna fire this woman. Then yeah, look where the Star Wars fans are at right now. Everybody's just like, I'm done, okay? This is what all of you, everything that you saying, just here, all right? No show on the Nielsen ratings. You can say anything you want to. No show on the Nielsen ratings. This is where the franchise is. Face facts. Face the damn facts, man. The Force Awakens brought Star Wars back unlike ever before. It's quite literally the best possible time to be a fan of the series. Why? Look, the sequel trilogy was diminishing returns, bro. All right, Jacob? The sequel trilogy was diminishing returns. You got the cancellation of the Acolyte, all right? That's how great Star Wars is right now. Oh, shit. One season, pull the plug. Because this show is absolutely in the wrong direction. We don't understand it. The skeleton crew fails to chart. All right. Right now, you got Daisy Ridley out there scrambling around, scratching her head, trying to figure out if there's going to be a Rey movie or not, because that's where Disney Star Wars is. They don't even know what they want to do with the franchise. They start a project, pull the plug. They start another project, pull the plug again. All right. How many times have things been canceled? How many times have things been, oh, we got the green light. Oh, we're talking about it. Oh, this, oh, that. And then next thing you know, nah, we're not doing that. That's a healthy franchise, bro. All right. That franchise is a joke at this point, all right? And the only people like it is cats like you, Jacob. Disney Star Wars fans, man. Disney Star Wars fans thinks everything is coming up roses. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. On top of the fact that at least at the time of the prequel trilogies, you can say what you want to say, Clone Wars, whatever. People had their criticisms, but people hadn't 100% checked out. There are fans that are like, I am done. Nobody was saying that after the prequels. Ah, fuck this, I'm done. Nobody was saying that. The fans are gone. All right? The fans are absolutely gone, as evidenced by the declining viewership, all right? The declining viewership and the lower box office. The diminishing returns on the box office. And let's not forget the joke they made out of the legacy characters. All right? They made an absolute joke out of the legacy characters, turning Han Solo into a deadbeat dad, Luke Skywalker into some loser that just gives up. They don't have any real direction of where they want to go. Dave Filoni, literally all Dave Filoni could do is just copy and paste the Clone Wars characters. He can't do anything new or original or different. He doesn't have the writing capabilities. All he can do is just go back into what George created, right? That's all he can do is just dip into the Clone Wars and try to, create something off of that. And it's never good. All right? And remember, the Clone Wars, that's a series that existed before Disney even came around. And that's all Dave can go back and do. It's a great time to be a fan of the series. Oh, this is the possible best time to be a fan of the series. Really? I would much rather be a fan when content was great. And even if it was limited. Because look, let me end it on this, all right? The thing about limited content, what these people don't seem to understand, is that every Star Wars movie was an event. Oh, I can't wait to go to the next Star Wars movie, all right? We had 6 movies, all right? We had 6 movies, the prequels, the original trilogy and the prequels, and that's all we had before Disney bought it in 2012, or until The Force Awakens came out in 2015. All we had was 6 movies in those 38 years, and the franchise, everybody loved it. To the point that The Force Awakens did $2 billion at the box office. That wasn't anything to do with Kathleen or Disney Star Wars. That was all on the heels and all based on what George Lucas did. That's where the fan base was. $2 billion. And look, the domestic box office record, that ain't ever gonna get broke. It might not ever get broke. And that's what it was. Disney Star Wars has ruined all of that love. How much you think The Mandalorian and Grogu is gonna do? Is it going to do $2 billion? Nope. It's not going to get close to that domestic box office record either. So y'all can talk about it whatever you want to talk about it, but at the end of the day, to the regular folks, to the rest of humanity, all right, this is the truth. It was just fine until Disney came along. Everybody else has deuced out. They've checked out. They're done. They're not rocking with your franchise. Maybe you love it, and that's fine. If you love it, love it. But don't sit up here and say that this franchise is in a better place than when it was before Disney took over. When Disney took over, they ran it right into the fucking earth. Bottom line, deal with it. Maybe hold Disney's feet to the fire. Hold Lucasfilm's feet to the fire. Yo, you're not giving the people what they want, and you're destroying the franchise. Why don't y'all say that? But they don't want to because, I don't know, some of these cats, they get paid or they get brownie points from Disney. I don't understand it myself. I'm a real fan. Fuck that. I'm all about, hey, is this franchise in a healthy place or not? If you screwed it up, you took it over from George Lucas and you dropped it off the side of the cliff, that's on you. I need y'all to do better. We need fans holding these cats to the fucking carpet, man. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think about this. As you can tell, I'm a little fired up, all right? I'm a little bit fired up, man. But look, it's no longer Star Wars. It's Star Was. Star Was. It was great once upon a time. Now it's garbage. Thanks to Dave Filoni, Kathleen Kennedy, Bob Iger, everybody over there at Disney. And if y'all want to suck it up and suck their titties and say, oh, it's great, I love it. Okay, fine, do that. But it's garbage in my opinion. All right. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Jump down in the comments. Give me your thoughts and opinions on that. Thanks for watching. See you next time.